Today, we're back with Mark Koulianos. We are so excited to have you back, Mark. Thanks for joining us. For our podcast disclaimer, please visit the episode description. So let's go back to upskilling and
Yeah,
reskilling.
yeah,
And we might even share some of what we just talked about, and
sure.
just to get into it again. So give us that definition again. Upskilling is what, and reskilling is what? Because
Yeah.
those words are being thrown around.
Yeah, and listen, they're very similar. They're a little bit like when people say there's a difference between leadership and management. There is, but they're complementary
Hmm.
skills, right? When I think of upskilling is you're on a specific career path or trajectory. And it's more about what we've talked about. You're a programmer. This programming is going away, this language or whatever, and now you need to learn this. You
Hmm.
you are a C programmer, now you need to learn Java. I know I'm dating myself, but whatever it is, Linux or whatever it is,
Right, right.
there's something new that's coming out. This is the thing, you have to learn it, but you're still going to be in programming or in tech.
Hmm.
Same thing about cyber. This was a tool you used to in cybersecurity, and now this is the new tool set. You're still in that same field. But in order to stay relevant, you have to keep adding these skills and these things to your repertoire, so that these tools and these skills to your repertoire. That's upskilling.
Okay.
Reskilling is again, I've worked in hospitality for the first half of my career.
Hmm.
For whatever reason, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be like, I'm interested in law. I want to become a paralegal. Okay, now you're going to reskill. You're not doing this anymore. You're going to reskill and go
Hmm.
into something else, and you're going to start your career path on that.
Hmm.
That, I think, is how I define the
Hmm.
difference between upskilling and reskilling. Both are extremely important. Both are extremely important from a workforce development standpoint, because what you really want is a durable, flexible workforce. Because as these things are changing, you have to have a workforce that's able to change with it, because that's going to be the difference, I think,
Hmm.
in the future.
And whose responsibility is that? I mean,
I think it's a dual
okay.
responsibility, meaning the employee or the individual
Mhm,
and the employer.
mhm.
So if we talk about war of talent, again, depending on where you fall in this, but right now there's a war for talent. We're at 4%
Yeah,
unemployment,
absolutely.
right? There's a war for talent. So we know there's all kinds of data on this. People that invest in their talent are more likely to hold on to that talent,
Mhm.
right? There's
Right,
longevity there. There's
absolutely.
loyalty there. I mean, it's been proven over and over, and we're seeing it more with bigger companies starting their own, what I would call apprenticeship models,
Mhm,
where they're not even taking people with degrees necessarily. They're taking people with ability.
mhm,
They're training them up. And then those people are so thankful for that opportunity
mhm,
that it builds loyalty. So
mhm.
I think it's a shared thing depending on where you are in your journey, your career journey. Certainly, I would encourage all people that are employees or even business owners, continue to invest in yourself.
Yeah,
That's what's going to drive your success. If you work for a company that's enlightened enough that they're going to continue to invest in you, then fill in the gaps. Mostly what happens a lot of times are companies invest in you to learn their systems, their
mhm,
products,
mhm,
or they'll say, you really need to be versed in AI. We'll give you tuition reimbursement, do it, but they don't prescribe what it is, right?
mhm,
So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a shared responsibility
mhm.
between individual and and employer,
Yeah,
let's say.
you I just had this thought that that's a conversation between a manager, right, and
Yeah.
the employee at times. And oh, we have this program, and you can have tuition reimbursement. But where is the learning development person? Where is the talent acquisition person saying, "Hey,
I,
but this is where we're growing as a whole"? Because maybe my manager doesn't want to lose me to somebody else because I'm
right.
a good performer in that. And so that holistic view, and wrong word maybe, but ownership of the
Yeah.
employee across the whole organization
Yeah.
is missing in that discussion.
I think it's one of the things that's missing. I think
Mm.
really enlightened, and that may not even be the right word, but really, let's say maybe even progressive. Let's say companies that value their employees, right?
Okay.
Companies that value their employees and understand they see the employees as an asset, not a liability or an expense, will take a holistic view.
Mhm.
But those are few and far between. I
Yeah.
think it's is part of the HR discipline that we train and we teach on. I think we have to be evangelize having those different pieces of HR, talent acquisition, talent management, I
Mhm.
guess, and the line managers and all those
Mhm.
people talking together about what is
Right.
the right
Right. It's not
strategy
just the high
for
potential conversation. It needs
right,
to be for
right.
that 80% in the middle, right?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it in my career in one aspect where, and I swear by this today, and I tell people this all the time. When we saw the biggest difference in productivity and in just overall operational excellence that really led to the bottom line when we did two things.
Mm.
We invested in all of our managers being trained in process improvement,
Mhm.
and then we train them all in project management as well
Mhm.
because I mean everybody works on
Right.
projects, right? So those two things, and it really took a top down effort from line management and senior management coupled with HR, even to the extent of as part of your goals, these certain things you had to be certified in these
Mm.
certain things, right? And so that's when we saw things really take off. And so I say that all the time. These are foundational skills.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It cuts across all industries.
Yeah.
Um,
So upskilling and reskilling are certainly going to be one of those items that's not going away.
I don't think it's ever going away.
Yeah.
I think that's a foundational truth. And again, it really depends on where you are in your career and whether it's you taking the majority on yourself
Yeah.
or if you're asking for your employer to invest in you.
Our conversation continues with Mark Koulianos. Be sure to subscribe to What the Heck is Happening in HR. We're on all your podcast platforms.